Faye is my god sister. Faye was also one of the first bands when she was with Invasion that I had on the road in Miami, and she was the road march queen with the sleigh that year. That's correct.
When you think of army flag, you think of one woman. You miss it, your mother. If you don't know what I'm talking about, show some love for Wassi One.
Anybody happy to be alive? Make some noise.
This Monday wear thing is taking over the world, so you'll see women in different versions of sexy today.
Giselle the Wassi One is the embodiment of culture. The customs, the arts, social institutions, and achievements of the Caribbean diaspora itself are the things that make this Brooklyn-born Trini so relatable on a global scale. Make no mistake, this is the story of Wassi, captured over the course of 12 months, 30 plus carnivals, 30 plus cities, hundreds of relationships, thousands of people, graced by her presence and impacted by her passion. 30 carnivals to a 30-year milestone in Caribbean culture and a celebration of Giselle's contribution to Caribbean history as a cultural icon. This is the life of a legend, explored through culture, history, and family, in loving memory of those that are no longer with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I am Black. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. The finest, most loveliest, most delectable woman you could find. We go back, way back, way back, when we met through the soca arena, and we have remained friends and Wassi's friends about. Since I joined Roy K, could be 17, 18 years. And that's my deal. I love her. She always look out for me, you know. I try my best to look out for her because she's from Speed now. Yeah.
Let me see that shirt.
I like my fan sign the shirt.
So I'm not a fan.
No, you're not a fan.
I am a fan.
Family.
I'm not. I'm a fan. I'm signing your shit.
I didn't get any artist to sign it. No artist will be back.
I'm not an artist. I'm Wassi.
You're an artist. You're an MC. You're super mom. Super sexy. You're my friend. I love her. I love her a long time. No artists will be back.
I don't care. When we was in coalition, they got me back. One of the people I love the most in all of the world happens to go by Sarah Ruby. And then bam, you appear like magic.
Bam, bam, gadona.
Alright. By the time I do it all, I'm going to take you back from when I used to sing with Marshall Montana. There you go. Any lovers in the house? This song is dedicated to you. You, baby, you. I said la la la. Sing, you. I think about you all the time, but you're always on my mind. Right, by the way, alright, you tune. I want you, and I could tell you what we do. I feel you, I could feel your love and push it through. Just say you want me, I know you want me. Push up my leg, push up my leg, push up my leg. Hey, I could tell you.
Yo, Uber Super Cruise, make some noise right now for me, please! Oh, make some noise, yo! For Patrice Robertson, legend of soca music. The way you wind up on me, wind on it, the way you push up on me, push up on it, the way you flex up on me. I can tell that you want.
Trinidad and Tobago, my name is Giselle the Wassi One. I go all over the world representing our music and our culture and sharing the beauty of this island. When I come home, I want to know that Trinidad and Tobago is crime-free, not just today, but every day. Let's start with Carnival. We're going to make it a crime-free Carnival. I'm Wassi, I love you.
Nassau, good morning. If you're having a good time, make some noise. More than that, is anybody ready for Bahamas Carnival? Make some noise. We are masqueraders, so leave we alone. We are masqueraders. Who's on the road with Bahamas masqueraders? You matter what? My name is Giselle the Wassi One. Was anybody in Trinidad Carnival 2017? Niceness. Well, you see, we're gonna start this party all over again. Anybody get a little water, make some noise? Anybody had a little powder, make some noise? Wassi and the turn the vibes, turn on the music. I'm gonna start turn from the top. What? Time to pump it up. Say that we pump it up. Anybody in here love soca music? Put your hands in the air, say. Time to pump it up.
So he's here, the man of the moment, is Lime with Lyrical. I decided that this is one of my favorite people in the world. This is my little brother. I say it's Trinidad Carnival. Our family has a spot 63 on the avenue. We say, guess what? It's all about family. We decided to make all of the people that are in Trinidad and Tobago come in line with one of their favorite artists, one of the most grounded artists in soca music. So it's all about Lime with Lyrical tonight.
I love you for that.
I love you more.
What she said, everything she said, that's what happened. So I'm here now. Much love, like I said before. Much love to everybody who here. Everybody who has some big up Akash again. Salute and salute, you know what I mean? Big up Nikki, big up everybody, you know, who has something to do with it, and all the artists who come in. It's still early. It's not even 12 o'clock yet. You know, big up. I didn't want to start to call artist name because then I ain't gonna call everybody.
We haven't even seen it has at least 200 artists in there just waiting.
And everybody come yet. So this was her plan. Anytime she have a plan and she say, Lero, there's a plan and I don't fall through with it, she just say, I feel like the coffee in your head. I feel like the beat you up. But she's always be violent.
No one.
Very violent. You know, but in a good way. She doesn't actually do it. but she just always says she do it. And as girl is frightened, just in case she do it. So, you know, yeah. So like I said, we're here. Happy Carnival 2017 to each and everybody who is here, who will make it to Trinidad, who come in tomorrow, who come in next week, whatever. Right?
Hi, everybody right now! Put up your hands in the air right now and say, that's why I'm living for tonight. That's why I'm living for tonight. Hey, we live like it's on for them tonight. Yeah. Hey, that's why every single artist, every single fan supporter will say, hey, you must do something. No one's there dancing something. That's why I'm about something. I just appreciate him. I see big up yourself, one boy. Where's that boy? Everybody put up your hands up, don't say. Because we are higher. Hey, I'm doing a good. I'm not ready. Was I ready? Why? That's why I'm living for tonight. Yeah.
I think Giselle has a knack for identifying talent and potential even before it gets recognized from the world. And so even before my big break came, Giselle was a person who sort of showed me love in a way that made me feel like I'm a superstar, you know? And so she has this very maternal instinct about her when she's for you. She says, listen, I like what you're doing. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure you get in certain circles. And that's what she did. And so that reach out because of her own admiration for my music and what I do turned into a whole friendship. It turned into a network. And it turned into Wassi just being Wassi. You know what I mean? I know Wassi is Wassi to so many people, and for persons who she's not Wassi to, they will never know until you actually get in the circle and realize that Wassi is a selfless person when it comes to soca, you know? So she does it for the love of it, and you can tell. And the sincerity behind it, you can't dodge it. You can't double question whether or not this is because of promotion, fame, money. Is none of that. I think she's the real deal when it comes to showing love and doing what it takes to make sure the art form and the artists get to a place that they deserve.
She have a bag that says Mrs. need to jump in the pool, 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 jump in the pool. Head or tails, I say head or tails, head or tails, I say head or tails. Drum rolling with a big snake in a
Stop number 8, Life of a Legend. It's the official 30 Carnival Tour celebrating 30 years.
I'm happy. Yeah, bitches. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I won't cry. I love you. I mean to put you on the spot. No, I fucking had to say that. You needed too.
Just like you, I needed a vent. I had to say it. I couldn't hold it back on.
And she hugged me so tight. And she was like, I just want to let you know I see you. I see you and I see the music that you're doing. And I see the difference that you're making. And I was like, oh my God, who is this woman? I could feel her strength. I could feel how strong she was. And most of all, I felt how genuine she was. And I needed a woman. I'm not a soca artist. I'm an artist. I'm just a global artist. And in this genre and in many genres, it's very hard for women to find women who want to come together and just give you support. Because, you know, that woman just going, hey, you did good, you did great. Sometimes it's all you need. It's not necessarily.
Let's see, right? Wassi, hey, somebody's over this Buddha.
Yes, sir.
Somebody said, when I'm in a place,
Yelling them never rush me. What the hell is that? What is he in the place? Party done. Yelling them never rush me. What the hell is that? What is he in the place? Party done. Yeah. Hold up, see, get a little smash. Hold it down and then we smash it. Give me one drunk, all the way to smash it. Give now one time I get hot smash it. Every single thing you get, she want to go away and hold on the place.
Don't go nowhere, my queen. This is Angela Hunt. She represents the Caribbean. She is one of the most prolific songwriters in mainstream America. She's the lady who wrote I'm from New York. She writes to Rihanna. She writes to so many superstars that you hear and you don't even know it's her. I just want to say on behalf of our community, thank you, Angela, for everything that you've done, for representing us the way that you do. I don't want you to leave me. I want you to be with me forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
That's what we said. This is 30 Carnivals the Wassi way. Bahamas Junkanoo. Watch me here. So coming in clean. It look like I'm coming into something good here. Now we do this Wassi style. That's how we started it. It's Hollywood Carnival today. It's his home. Big up to KK, big up to Harold, big up to the boss, Marshall, my channel, of course, my brother DJ Steven. This is how we do Carnival and we talk.
I met Giselle the Wassi One, I believe in Miami, through Miami Carnival, through her old friend DJ Steven. I was beginning a promotional venture here in California, trying to bring Caribbean culture here, and I was introduced to Wassi. They informed me that she was a big influence in the Caribbean community. I was a baby, just coming in. I was about to start a carnival in California. It was just a tour done at the promotions here, and Wassi was one of the first DJs, hosts, her and Marlon, of course, to support me in that venture in California. I learned from them while doing promotions. We would help each other through different ventures that we have throughout our years.
You see that squad here? Hold on, wait. Hold on. From my riches, I this shot. I drunk already. I see a sexy girl, I want to walk already. I drink about 10 buckle of rum already. I don't take a selfie, Instagram already. I'm moving like a madman. Whoa, yeah. It's problems in this session. Whoa, give me space like a pedestrian.
Carnival. Summer's supposed to mean summer, but you see my condition right now, right? We're gonna take it in Rotterdam Carnival, stop number 15, the Wassi way. Your mother.
It's on
Hollywood HP.
Stop it.
What you know about that?
We're in St. Lucia.
My woman.
Sign of deals. Hey, look at her to me. Do that for me. Hey, don't mind them. We still have bumper. God give everybody a little something. Now just praise God and praise God. Hey, praise God for the fat bumper. You know you still have bumper. You know how to control bumper, but you know how to manage bumper.
Was through Ronnie McIntosh, I met Giselle. We met in a washroom in Miami for Miami Carnival over 23 years ago. And I said the magic word, 23. Giselle is born on the 23rd of April. I'm born on the 23rd of November. And I'm talking about 23 years ago. And the magic word then was, hey, is that 23 thing?
I'm ready to teach you a lesson. Try me now. Pick up your waist and chocolate. Boy, like how they wine and tablet. I'm over here and I show that.
Wassi is just love. Wassi is just, when Wassi reach in a place, everybody know Wassi Day. Wassi is like a big sister to me. Wassi always, encourage me. She always give me the support and inspire me to do, way better.
I remember the first time we met, I just know, when like you see somebody that is always pushing culture first, love first, unity first. And it was something where I've always seen and heard, and from going to Miami Carnival, and she's that voice, she's always that person on the front lines, pushing the music, pushing the culture. And it was different hearing a female MC because it's such a male-dominated style. And I remember working with her for one of the first times. I can't remember how far back it was, but it was like a boat ride, and I was even taken aback by how good she was at knowing the music. Because a lot of times, and it's bad to say, but you kind of judge a book by the cover and you think, okay, well, you don't really know this. And Wassi is such a dominant personality, but not dominant in a negative way or an overbearing way or I just find she has this love about her, this love for the music and the passion that is absolutely incredible. So from when I met her, we just became close over the years, and just kept developing our relationship and working together. And yeah, I really rate Wassi big time.
You see Wassi, let me tell you something.
Hip-hop, soca. Just now I focus more on soca, but I still do my dancehall thing, still do my hip-hop, so it's more like expansion, right? Brand expansion. But yeah, Giselle, like my first soca mix, Giselle hosted it, and then she does she get recognition from her son. She's telling me every time she see me, she's like, yo, my son rate me, that friggin' boy, after all this hard work I put in, your mix 10 years after, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like, she just is always love when I see her, you know what I mean? Actually, heard about Giselle before I even started playing. Years, I don't even know, countless years. She probably seen me grow from when I was a baby, come all the way up.
I think I've known
Wassi for about 10 to 12 years. I actually met her through Skinny Fabulous. So this industry is technically male dominated. So for her being a female powerhouse in the industry, I've seen the struggles that she's gone through as a woman, and regardless of what, she has powered through it. You know, nothing can stop her at the end of the day. Everything that she puts her mind to, she gets done.
But there's a lot of other shit with that. I know. Like sometimes I be in my room and it's like a 20 suitcases and one. It's terrible. The upside life. Listen, you get used to the suitcase life. Not even that, like clothes, yo. Clothes is the worst. Like, where did I go? Who's gonna be there? Who's see me? Boy. 1991. You had on a blue jumpsuit.
All the best friends, this is Shine! Hands in the air! Don't forget Miami, right? Your mother-in-law! Soccer Bible! Who come into Miami Carnival?
Right now, all we know is living life and loving life. So only weight on your shoulder, dust it off.
I woke up this morning and what? Your future tradition. Could somebody brush off your shoulder right now? Let's go!
Wassi always trying to get me to drink, but that ain't gonna happen.
How do you say no to her?
No. Trust me, I say no. Wassi, let me tell you something. Before everybody else got to know me, you know, Wassi took that chance on me when I just came in. My first song was a song that they called Coming Down the Road, produced by 758. That was about 2007. I met Wassi, and we used to do a lot of promotional tours and stuff together. Myself, Ricky T, Skinny Fabulous was there with the headbatters. So it was Skinny, myself, and Ricky. You know, Ricky had Pressure Boom at the time. I had Coming Down the Road. And Wassi just had that vibe where she loved what was coming out and the young talent, you know, coming up and just trying to get that play. You know, we got knocked down a lot of times. We were told no so many times, you know. There's so many things that we had to go through, you know, to get to where we are today. I normally tell people in order to get to, you had to go through. Wassi is an ambassador, you know, somebody that represents soca to the fullest. And especially when she sees artists and she believes in them, you know, she's there with you, you know. So Wassi and I words I explain, we've been through a lot, you know. The same people that closed doors when we, you know, were trying to get in before. I remember Wassi and I standing outside, you know, on trying to get on a boat ride, you know, just to get a little play, to get different things. But I didn't give up. She didn't give up on me. You know, that's one thing. She didn't give up on me. She did not say, you know, no, it's not, you know, having another. She stayed with me until we got it right.
Ready, Mike.
Yeah, that was Sherway Winchester. Look at the stage. Look at my camera quick. Everybody put your hands in the air. Make some noise for Sherway.
Be something as a woman, there's that moment. Like, okay, for me, when I turned 30, that's when I felt like I was a real woman. Although I was married and I had a child and everything, that was when I knew really who I was as a woman. When was your moment that you...
Two times. One, when I got married, you think getting married means that you're doing something good. So people say, oh my gosh, there goes another AIDS-free person that's not going to spread HIV around and be promiscuous and lead to that whole carnival is about loose women and wine and song and drinking and stuff like that. By the way, I don't drink. I don't smoke.
That's all cranberry.
It's all cranberry.
Exactly.
I pop cranberry bottles. You understand? And I'm in Carnival. I'm one of the people that make music for Carnival. So when we got married, you think, well, okay, fine, you're doing something good. You know, you're actually people like celebrities to raise their kids.
Right.
So you get married, you think, okay, fine, you're setting a good example. It was the worst. It was the worst. They were like a whole bunch of shit. And then, can I say shit on your TV?
You can say what you want.
Okay, I'm just saying. And then, the second time was when we switched management. And we decided that we were going to have our own business and run our own stuff and be independent of people taking advantage of us and stuff like that. And because I was the woman leading the charge, I got attacked. Oh, well, they tried to attack. It was very weak and pathetic.
Did you ever cry?
But I noticed. Oh, I cry all the time, chick, but in the shower. So that way it's disguised as water so nobody sees it. I don't know.
I feel you.
Yeah. So, but for me, it was just amazing. But then my vindication came. Bungie Garland won Soul Train Award. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're saying Fair Lines is no good for Bungie.
You all my life, but I've known him for his entire 18 years of his career. And I mean, when you put yourself in the public, you open yourself up for any and everything.
Especially as a woman. I think the public is not as harsh on men as they are on women. I mean, they compare us for the way we're shaped, the way we look, whose hair is prettier, who's nicer, who sounds better, who looks better, who whine better, all this sort of nonsense. And I think a lot of the times we fall into that trap. We do. Because I'm thinking, you know what, if I see Wassi in a fete, I need to outdo Wassi. When I'm not thinking, if I see Wassi in a fete, I need to applaud Wassi because Wassi might be going through some shit that I could learn from.
Amen.
Sometimes you yourself going through some shit, but you're so bent on trying to put up this big, massive brick wall front that what you do is you skirt on everybody. So you're trying to make Wassi feel like she ain't shit. You're trying to make Wassi feel like she's nothing. But really and truly, that's how you feel about yourself. So you're just transferring that energy onto people.
So let me just tell you about yesterday. Like yesterday, I was ready to cancel everything. I was done.
You need holy water, a lime, and we need to carry you maracas far back.
I would know, honestly, because
they keep coming for you.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's just that, like, you know, like for me, I don't do anything fake. Like if I love you, I love you.
That's your main problem, Wassi.
Yeah, I know that's.
You need to fix that.
I know, and I put my heart and my soul.
That's your second problem.
I know into everything and everybody, but like I don't know. Sometimes I just like just leave me. I just wanna love everybody.
Okay. Here's what I tell myself when the day comes.
Tell me, because
Jesus Christ came to save the world.
Amen.
And we, the people of the earth, crucified him. Even though he came to save us. You're Wassi. I'm just fay-ann. We can't save nobody.
True.
So we can't expect
that's
people.
That's the part that I need to get.
Yeah, we can't expect people if there are people who don't have love for Christ, and there are people who don't have love for God.
Go away.
And he's the creator. He's the one that wakes you up in the morning. We're not waking anybody up. We can barely wake ourselves up. You understand? So we can't expect people. We would like for people to be nice. We would like for people to be civil. But we can't expect it because people will always be who they want to be, when they want to be it, and who they want to be it too.
This is everything to me. So I hear alive in St. Vincent, my first Vincy mass ever. Stop number, what is this, 12:39, even sure at this point.
You don't even be.
Miss, like he says, and this is one of the premier bands in Antigua. I'm inviting everybody in the world. If you've never ever been to one of the greatest summer festivals, Antigua Carnival is one that you don't want to miss. And when you come, there's only one band you need to be with, and that's me. It's Carnival Tuesday in Antigua, what, at least 60 years. Cheers to you. Miss Carnival, this is the band I'm with. 10 years of Miss, and it's actually been 10 years since I've been in Carnival in Antigua, and I was with you. Right, so we made it. We're in Dubai 19 hours later. You know what we're here, right? Like, What time? So here we are in the middle of the desert, on top of the world. Yes, it's Wassi.
I must say, Giselle the Wassi One has been very instrumental in terms to small island music, getting the eyes and ears of the rest of the Caribbean. And she was one of the first DJs, MCs, people to come to our regions, which is the Virgin Islands, and tapped into our culture, our regions, and try to, you know, get involved in what we had to offer in the Virgin Islands. So the year that I started out doing music, I came up with a song with a band in the Virgin Islands called Extortion Band. And we had some real popular songs at the time that she came about. And she, I guess, liked one of our songs. And she requested a dub plate for me to do a dub plate.
But I did it because it's the synonymous festival to the Bahamas.
Right, exactly. This is our thing, yeah.
This is your thing. You've adapted the carnival thing in Haven. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's my first Junkanoo.
Yeah?
You're
gonna love it.
Listen, as many years as I come into Bahamas, I have never ever done Junkanoo.
Wow.
Is missing alcohol, that would be an issue. Okay, all right.
What happens is today is Mad Rush.
Okay, so what is your theme?
Our theme is, if I can remember properly, God and protect our marine environment. The wonders of our marine environment.
Okay.
And so we're paying tribute to the HMBS Flamingo, which is a defense force ship that sunk in 1980. We formed a new defense force, like our military, in 1980. And what happened was, when we went out to protect our waters, the Cubans didn't know that we were there. And they thought that we were in their waters. So they blew HMBS Flamingo over the water and sunk it. Yeah, so we had a little war between us and the Cubans in 1980. Yeah, that's the mighty sailfish, and that's a part of our parade too.
So people, like how it is in Trinidad with the king and queen, people get in this and dance.
They get dancing, yeah. So you love a person dancing all of these, you know.
But they have movement like how the king and queen is have, or this is more like float?
They have movement. They have two wheels, so you'll see them performing. The difference is with the king and queen, you get to see the person perform.
Okay, but in these you don't get to see
the person. Yeah.
All right. So I want to ask them what their portrayal is. Looks like they're the first in Junkanoo right now. What do you guys portray? Egypt. Roots. And who are you? What's the name of your costume?
It doesn't have a name.
It doesn't have a name. So you played this and then this for the whole 10 hours? What did you take? Nothing? Did you sleep? How long did you sleep? How long did you sleep? I want to come back and find you. This is what? This is plastic. Paper. You made it? I'm gonna give y'all a little history of where we are now. So this is like tell you my history. This used to be called Mass Camp. They changed it to the New Pub. The New Pub, but it was called Mass Camp before. So the Divas Calypso Cabaret was that was the thing. When I got invited to that, as much as I was doing hosting, I think, when I got invited to the Divas Calypso Cabaret, like it was a big deal now. And how that happened is a lady in Miami, from the Miami Carnival, Jackie Charles, she did an article about me. And like when I did one of my songs, I can't remember, the headline was Soca Star and Waves. In any case, because I was Trinidadian background, international press didn't come from. And when they picked it up, the man from the Divas Calypso Cabaret, he reached out to me to come and be a part of the thing. This is where it was initially. But now it's like a road, meaning that it goes to various avenue is this is the strip, like when we go to 63, this is the strip that you go on. So like I told you, like it's an entertainment hub. Everything is like right around here in this neighborhood.
Because oh yeah, we walking out, so it's okay.
Guys, like we're at Green Corner. Let me tell you something. There was a point in Trinidad where when you come this way, this was one of the things they used to complain about the most. But when you reach this corner, nobody would move, and it's like there's nobody here. And I heard several people say to me this year that Trinidad and Tobago Carnival is dying, and I don't know, like my heart hurts me. Like I don't want to, like all my boys raised, I don't want to believe that. But this right here, this is scary.
My name is Giselle the Wassi One. Guess what? Know your business. The house of Wassi. Only anywhere in the world, baby.
I'm looking for paint for Juve. Everybody and have a party. It's actually from the earth, so they use the mud and the cocoa. The new wave people use paint and powder and all that, so it's actually supposed to be mud and like cocoa, like that type of thing.
What you doing with all the paint? Art class?
I don't know. We're having a paint party.
Having a paint party.
We're gonna mix it up with some water and throw it on each other.
That should be fun.
Yes, it will. We don't need too much powder. We just need
So we're gonna put them in little powder bags?
Well, that she could probably very well do that. Chad, give me a little box now, babe.
So we're just gonna use this. In the screen right now. Yeah, that's what they do with powder. Like we say, Juve is one of the new things. From the earth, on the earth. So it's traditionally mud and cocoa. That's like the things that you find in the earth with the new day. So you do that, you cleanse yourself, and then you get ready for the next day, which is the day before Ash Wednesday, because you know Carnival is
The slaves had to disguise themselves for fear of reprisals. Sometimes they would play with a cloud of powder. So it would be a cloud of dust and then they would all disappear.
It's the kids that really make this thing happen. The reason I'm saying this, years ago the adults didn't want to walk the street with a costume. And since the kids and them start to show the adults what the culture is all about, that's when the people really start to give that pride and start walking the street with costume. People used to come on Eastern Park and put on their costume. They didn't want to walk the street.
Now, Jab Jab is the English translation for Diable Diable in French, which means devil devil. The practices of this traditional mask played at carnival time here in Grenada, especially at Juve, is deeply rooted in West African traditions. The portrayal of this mask and celebrated heavily here in Grenada through reenactments of the brutal and inhumane treatments the enslaved endured on the plantations from their colonial masters, and also as an expression of emancipation from the physical shackles of slavery.
it's funny because people always ask me to tell my story and tell them how I started. I guess because culture has always been such an integral part of my life. It never feels like, I can't really say when I can tell you when I started the band. I started the band at 14, but to say when I started, I think I never stopped there, so there was never a start, if you understand. It was just a part of my life, a part of my constant life. My parents are also people who love culture and have you know, committed and done so much and dedicated so much of them that it's funny, you know. When I was going to school, my initial thing was I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a gynecologist obstetrician because I wanted to, in some way, to help people with their life, do something special in their life. And what's more special than going through you know, the pregnancy period with a woman and actually bringing a child into, well, you don't forget your doctor's name, if you know what I mean, you know? So that was one of the things that I wanted to do. And it's funny because a time when I was in college, in my early college years, Marshall Montano's dad was at my house and he was talking to my parents. He's like, listen to me, this girl love music, and when music call you, you have to go. So all you stop wasting all your money. And they were like, no, no, no. And I mean, eventually I wouldn't say it was a waste. I mean, you know, everything in life is an experience, but my transition came, like I told you, I started the band at 14 because we had moved from New York at that time, right? You know, I was born and raised in New York to two phenomenal Trinidadian parents. And we had moved from New York and wanted to bring our vibe here to South Florida. So that's when we decided to start the band. And we were part of Borough Keats in New York. Borough Keats and Hawks was like family to us as well. So we came down here and we were going to be a division of Borough Keats, but they already had somebody here who wanted to do it or was kind of doing it. So we ended up doing this Wassi thing. At that time, I don't know if you remember, Superblue had a song, Ready Like Freddy. Yes. Yeah, that's the one. So we took the Wassi from there, and then the original Wassi man from New York, he was also a part of our whole team and family circle and carnival circle. So we just transferred that to here, and that's how that became the Wassi Ones in Miami, you know? So, I mean, like I said, I don't know of any time when I wasn't doing it. The radio thing happened very naturally as well. One of the guys I was going to college with, by the name of Daddy Saw, you know, I came from the underground radio station, Mix 96.1 in South Florida, and that station, although it was underground, or pirate, as they like to say, station, made so many of the people that you see now in the forefront of so many genres. Walshy Fire, DJ Khaled. I used to mic for DJ Khaled. You know what I mean? We from the Madhouse days, those people who know us from then. And that happened very naturally. They used to play at my birthday parties and stuff. So, you know, when Daddy Saw decided he wanted to try this radio station thing, he's like, you have to do it. I don't know anybody who loves soca more than you, because all of these were big reggae DJs and hip hop DJs at the time. They're like, oh, we're not playing soca. Those same people that you see now loving up my thing. Yes, I want to say I had a little influence in that. They're the ones who were like, you know, at that point, no, I would give them soca records at that time. Records. Listen, you be playing at my party, you have to play this. So, you know, that happened very naturally, and the radio just was like a blessing. It was literally a gift. He actually died of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he said that before he passed away, he said, this is going to be the last thing I ever ask you to do for me. And I swear to you, it was given to me with love, and it's now how I live, you know. I mean, well, the whole cultural thing is how I live. I've tried to have regular jobs, but this is something, yeah. But I actually believe that kindness is strength. You know what I mean? Being submissive is a form of weakness, but I actually believe that being submissive is also another form of strength. And a lot of times, I've had to take a lot of pats on the head, a lot of, all right, you did that, that's great, we're glad you did that, but you stand right here, we got you, we'll take care of this. And I mean, I don't always think, I don't want to say necessarily that it's always because I'm a woman. I think it's a lot of time it's because strong people are, when you're really and truly strong and you recognize, let me be more specific, when you're strong and you recognize that you're strong, a lot of people think that you're weak. I think that's been my experience in life, because I recognize my, you know, that I have strengths and certain, because a lot of if you realize a lot of people who you find in contention, who are always in a competition, it's actually in fact a sense of weakness, a sense of insecurity. You know, I'm not one of those people who's ever, and I definitely credit this to my parents, who's ever needed validation. So when things happen, yes, I feel broken sometimes. Yes, I feel frustrated, but I'm really, really great at picking myself up and dusting myself off.
So let's talk about contention. Let's talk about validation. Broken. You know, I just want to dive deep, because part of this process here, this series, is ideally to share our stories and to help help other women who feel that sometimes they have to do a little bit too extra in order to be seen and to be heard and just to be themselves. Let's talk about some of your, maybe the lowest point you've ever had that would have taken you to another level. It may have broken you at the time, or it may have appeared to have broken you, but it would have been a blessing in disguise, because here you are.
So, funny that you asked that. So in my separation from my husband Marlon at the time, which is Trini South Boys, we are Soca Viver, and that type of thing. It's so funny that you asked me this question because it's so relevant, particularly at the time that we're in, just 3 weeks out from Miami Carnival. And actually today is actually literally 3 weeks to the event that I'm about to tell you about. So, without getting too deeply into it, when I was separating, Soca Viver was our thing. And I'm not a fighter. I'm a fighter, yes, but not the kind of fighter that you may think, if you understand. So, at that time, we had Dave, which they were Islands United, and it was Trini South Boys and Mix 96. They were Soca Viver. And in the separation, I didn't want to go back and forth. Well, this is mine and that is yours. So I was trying to figure out a way to find my space in something that I invested so much in, being at Soca Viver as well as Miami Carnival. And that's how the breakfast party came about, Rise Miami Meets Shine New York. It was actually Rise and Shine initially. And deceased Selman Lewis was the person who got my first venue for me, which was Solos on the Bay. That was maybe about 11, 12 years ago. You know what I mean? And that I think that was my public stand up for myself, kind of thing. I mean, just always, wanting to claim a space. When I say claim a space, not anybody's space, but my own space. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it have 700 islands. Why do I have to try and inhibit the 200 that are already inhibited? Let me inhibit my own. And that was what I did. I created my own. And I always tell people that event was created with love and respect for other people. At that time, Thursday night was girl power. And the New Yorkers would come and they'd be like, oh, they would get there. What's there to do now? What's there to do? And then there was nothing to do. Friday night would have been flag night for Soca Viver. So I was like, let me leave these staples alone. Let me try and find my own space. And I did. And that was, my breakfast party. Now, it's become, because Carnival has become such a big business, it's you find that people now, they don't care about those things. Anybody will come, they'll do whatever they want, especially here in South Florida. South Florida has become like an open sepulcher when it comes to promotions and that type of thing. So, I just maintain myself, maintain my order, stay in my lane and represent what I need to represent and do what I need to do for the people and for the culture. So, you asked me about hardships and coming out. That was definitely one of them publicly. Personally, I want to say separating from a lot of the entities that I was known for being a part of. Not when I say separating, meaning like actually branching out and doing things as Wassi for Wassi versus Wassi for Trini South Boys or Wassi for Mix 96 or Wassi for Soca Viver. I still am and empower and embody a lot of those elements, but I'm also Giselle the Wassi One, period.
My name is Wassi. What?
So when you see this black woman, you go say, ah boy. You understand? So okay, for example, you'll know to yourself, for me, I don't do it often, but let's say I decide I want to go through corporate America to ask them to be a part of something that I'm doing for my culture and for my people. Prior to me getting in there, just the mere fact that I've already said that it's something Caribbean, it's something, they've already put a kind of, especially in South Florida because of all of the various situations that our carnival has been in. So they know of us because the carnival is 30-something years old, and they know of it's so bad, and it's like a husband and wife couple that you know they're gonna fight before the night is out, so they kind of know what we are or at least what they think we are, but they haven't experienced me or they haven't experienced you. So you're kind of going in there with a stigma
already.
Right. So I usually try to change that around and let them know that, yes, I'm well aware of the things that you know, but you don't know me. You know what I mean? So it's about it's looking at the glass half full or half empty. I don't really try to dwell on negative things. I don't like words like haters and competition, and they don't really exist in my arena, because when you create your own space, you're not really competing with anybody, and you can't be insecure.
Focus.
As my mother, I'm now going to tell you, as my mother say, girl, put your blinders on and keep going. You know, that's my empowerment. My mother, my father, my family, my family friend circle, because I don't consider you guys my friends. I consider you guys my family. You know what I mean? So, I mean, those little things, gee, don't worry, girl, you're doing it. You know what I mean? Those little things, that's my testimony. That's my, if you had to whip the horse, that's my whip, and that's what keeps me going. You know what I mean? And more than that, the people, so many young people, come to me and they're like, oh, I remember you doing this, and Auntie G, I was a Wassi babe. It's crazy just to see your whole thing come full circle. And, my daughter adores you, she's 7. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, wow. That's those things, those are the things, that's my momentum. Those are the things that keep me going. That's the things like, yes, Gil, yes. Even if it's 1 7-year-old, you have that 1 7. You know what I mean? Something has to be your cheering squad. And a lot of times I have to dig deep and find it within myself. And I think those are the things that honestly make you stronger. Sometimes people feel like when people leave you alone in your dark moments, that's bad, or that it's always negative. Sometimes that's something that maybe some of us need to do, to know how strong we are, or to know how far we can be pushed, or to even try ourselves and figure out, hey, what's really, oh my gosh, you have all of that? Wow. You know what I mean? So I really try not to look at any situation as negative. I really, really try to turn it all around. Maybe sometimes because I want to, and maybe sometimes because I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? But either way, I'm glad that's been my journey,
Your influence is so positive that we just need to get you to tell your story and to enhance the younger women, the younger girls who are looking on, even the women, the mature women like ourselves who, they don't have that platform, or they can't identify with anything.
So, okay, let's use ourselves as an example. There was a time when we were the popular girls, the kind of it girls, the girls the guys liked, and that type of thing. So we've, I think, been on every side of the coin, to be honest, where, everybody wanted to be around you or wanted to be in your space because of who you were and who you knew and where you were and that type of thing. We've also been in situations where it's been the total opposite, is because of who you are and because of where you've been. They don't want anything to do with you, or even people saying, oh, she's just a pretty girl. She has no value. She can't read the news. She can't, you understand what I'm saying? And again, just deciding for you what your fate and what your destiny should be. And again, in very similar respects, you've come from some of the greatest situations in perspective, just perspective and perception. Let me just say that first. That perspective and perception become people's truths, no matter what you say. So even me saying to you that all the people that I love hurt me in some way, shape, or form, and sometimes continue to do so, the average person would believe that. Now they're going to be looking at everybody and looking at their picture. Oh God, look, she loved Nicola. Is Nicola? Who should she? You know what I mean? But it's just again, perception and how people. So okay, same thing. You understand what I'm saying? You've been in some of the greatest situations that people would ever say, wow, she got to do this. And you walked away from it because it wasn't fulfilling, or you weren't respected enough, and you weren't willing to be a puppet, and you weren't willing to sacrifice your morals. Listen, I've had every opportunity to be on pretty much every radio station, a part of every sound, and because they wanted to make me be like them versus like me, I've turned those things down.
Thank you. No, thank you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
But
you understand? And that is when you truly believe in yourself. And you truly believe in your ability. I don't want to say talent, because when you say talent, people always think it has to be on TV or radio or so. Your ability, whatever your ability is. If your ability is to be the greatest clean in the world, that's your ability that nobody can take away from you. If your ability is to be the greatest sex worker in the world, nobody can take away that ability. Everybody, no matter what you choose to do in this life, I'll tell you how my father said, if you want to be a janitor, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, be the best
at it.
At it.
Yeah.
example, that person, the same person who when you was at the job or you at the gig, tried to sabotage you. When you see that it turn around and bite them, oh God, a little part of you as a human will say, yep. And so it continues. And then you have to say, you know what? No, let me leave them. God is the boss.
Leave it alone.
You understand?
Yep. Yep.
But again, even being public people, like people don't understand the levels of scrutiny that we go through. So even if, let's say, for example, you lost your job or you get cut from a gig, what you're going through personally is one thing. Then what the public tries to put you through is a whole other.
Totally different ballgame.
So, you know, I always tell people that the ones who like to sit back and criticize, to a certain degree, I consider them cowards. For the simple reason that, would you do what I do? Would you be willing to put yourself on the front line or go to a radio station, not necessarily knowing what you're doing, but just having a passion, and people calling you, shut up, you talk too much, you're too loud, you're too dark, you're too light, your hair too short, your hair too... Could you go through that and keep on trucking? And every time they see you smile, could you do that? Until you could tell me that you could do that safely, consistently, then your voice doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. At the end of
you know, and a lot of us go through that, and I hope that for my peers, both male and female, because again, you know, we tell our story as women because we are based on emotion. You understand? So we are able to express ourselves in a certain way and on a certain level. A man is stifled when it comes to that, especially a Caribbean man, because strength, when you cry as a Caribbean man or you express it, you're weak.
You're weak.
You understand? You're weak. Right, exactly. But you know, so many things. So many of my peers as well suffer from so many anxiety things, so many, you know, insecurity issues that they can't show, and sometimes makes them interact and react poorly. So let me just say that in their defense is that so many of the people that we may give a really hard time in the industry, especially our male figures and our females as well. But let me just deal with the men, and I'm gonna deal with the ladies after. With the men in particular, ease them up. Ease them up. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to have to get up every day, whether they feel good or not. Think about a woman on her cycle. Regardless of whether we have it or not, we have to come here and smile. Oh. Nobody wants to do that. I want to lay in my bed, but I do that, and I do that for you. And I do that to let you know, as well as myself, that we strong, we could get through this. And if I could do this then I could do anything. A lot of these fellas are under unnecessary pressure. And like I say, it makes them react poorly within their environments and sometimes within society. Let's be a little less harsh on the judgment. You know what I mean? I think that's killed a lot of people. A lot of people who've taken their lives, like I say, both in our diaspora as well as throughout the world, it's for that, because they're afraid of being judged.
The Wassi One, you know what I mean? Bless up, keep winning, my friend from day one, and play that Wild Thoughts, make a Trini version or something. You know what I mean? Big up all Trinis. Bless up. Hey yo, Wassi. Bless up. It's your brother Calvin. Nothing but love.
My name is Jamal McGlure, assistant coach with the Toronto Raptors. I'm also the band leader for the Toronto Revelers. I met Giselle the Wassi One back in 2008. Met her at a hotel in the Cayman Islands for Carnival. Recognized her voice right away, recognized her energy. Never met her before that, and got to talking, and the rest is history. We've been very close ever since then. The characteristics that stands out the most to me, whether she's happy or sad, it's hard to tell sometimes. I know she's very animated in a positive way, but she's always been very friendly to everybody. She treats everybody the same, whether you're a millionaire or not. I think that's very, very important in this day and age, is humility, and the fact that she pulls energy from the universe. I mean, I know Miami Carnival is not an easy feat, and I've actually brought sections with her in her carnival, and I could see the perseverance, I could see the obstacles that she faces each and every year, and she continues to do it. And most people would just throw their hands up in the air and say, you know, this is not for me, but she continues to push and push and push. And I think the fact that she's so aware and in tune with her culture is what makes her thrive. And to be honest, we need it, because you know, she's Americanized, and
Canadianized, being born in North America. So we want to keep this thing going that we call our culture, and it's hard at times because there's so many people that shun us, don't have an idea what Carnival is really about. They don't know that we're celebrating, emancipation and the strides that we've been through as minorities. That it's easy to break, and she hasn't broken. She just continues to get better and stronger, and that's what I feed myself off of. I really look at her for advice, and she has not failed me to date. So Wassi, if I've never told you this before, thank you for the opportunities that you've given me and a lot of Canadian minorities up here in Canada, and continue to be strong, be positive, and be a role model, because that's how I see you, and that's how we see you as a community. So we love you very much, and we appreciate you, and thank you for all that you do.
Think of every tribulation that you get through. Take a wine on the side now. Enjoy the vibes. Soak up every little moment. Yeah. Cause when you think about it, you don't know the next man's story.
Giselle is my sister, so we grew up together, same families, doing parties, some young kids in a backyard doing parties in New York.
She's we've been together from, you could say, practically birth, She being an MC, me being a DJ. We grew up in Brooklyn, Albany, Lima's backyard, doing the annual parties, and look at us here, how many years later.
Remember the days of tossing water, anytime that you have to bid, or when people pass and they see you.
The very beginning of history, there was in the holy cities of Abydos and Bandleader, these are up in the south of Egypt, an annual celebration for Wassi, who the Greeks called Osiris. And he was the great god, the great ancestor, the god of fertility, the god of wine and grain. And this celebration took place on the 5 days outside of time. So here we have stick fighting in Egypt, and a street festival, people dancing and singing, a dramatic presentation. That is the beginning of Carnival.
All of them who want to stop, we tell them we no afraid, no woman afraid, no stick man afraid, no demon.
It's been a phenomenal year for everybody. But in particular, I just want to say thank you to you and Bunty Garland for showing the world that Soca is a real family. Some days we agree, some days we don't agree, but at the end of the day, the mission is the music and the people that love it. Yes. So from everybody in the world, we say thank you.
Now he had this bossa tune that he was trying to find somebody to do it with, and I think he told me he was looking at people from all outside, and he said, to be honest, I prefer to do it with somebody from home, because the story of the song is a home story. Correct. So it's better if the whole collective, the producer, the story, everything come from home. I say, let me hear it. We went to the studio. As soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah. So if it was a power song, I wasn't doing it, I'm telling you straight. Because a power song would have, hype up the place and thing, but then what the substance would that be, right?
Because that was one of my questions.
Right.
Because everybody was expecting a
power and rip down the place and road march thing.
Even me.
For me, road march thing not important to me. I always said that from a long time, right? But I didn't know what I was getting myself involved in, because by Keegan Taylor, who wrote Marshall's part and everything, we basically conceptualized the song. I didn't know he was a stick fighter. He is a stick fighter,
like
right? He's a real stick fighter, right? So he know all the chants, he know the story, he know the spiritualism behind it. The history behind it, and I didn't know. I was so far separated from what we have here, right? And this song alone taught me the full story of where Carnival began, because a lot of people, right? A lot of people don't know that the stick fighters were the people who actually fought for Carnival to be existing today. Because Captain Baker led the English to trust to stop Carnival in Trinidad in 1884, something like that, with Cambodia riots.
Go with it.
Right? And Joe Talmaner who was the leader of the stick fighters, fought the English with sticks and won the battle. And that is why Carnival is here today. And everybody who's celebrating Carnival and don't know the history, even I too wasn't sure of the history or even I was searching for it. So it was so important for me. So this song taught me so much, and what I realized it taught a lot of youths in school the importance and the heritage, right? And both of us spoke and say, this is the direction we need to take, the educational direction. Any product we decide to work on, the spin-off effect is that those who separated from what we know must be able to learn it and understand it and absorb it.
Right now we come together. That's where we come from. This is what I smoke and just run with the segregation. Go for this culture. What I tell you right now is to have a tick to separate
Carnival is me and I am Carnival. I started my band in Miami at 14. Miami is my home. Miami is my time. Miami is my time to let everybody know what I feel in my heart, to give them all of the love that I have stored up in me for them all of the other times of the year that I may not have the free expression to deliver. This is the time. This is the last of the Mohicans. This is the wrap up to the Carnival season.
She's my backbone for prayer. 30 seconds. You know, because she knows. You know, you ask me like one of the best memories I have of things. Like she and I do Rise and Shine together in Miami, and I look forward to that call from her every time, no matter what's going on, whatever problems we have with the event. I always get that call, and when I see Giselle calls me. She say, "You ready?" And I know what that means. It's time for that prayer. And when we say that prayer, nothing could stop us. And every time we've said that prayer, we've never failed. So that is my greatest memory of Giselle when it comes to Giselle. I know when we pray, we succeed.
My name is Skinny Family. Somebody say, I'm saying, my name is Skinny Family. Somebody say,
You know, I can't tell you that I have a crazy particular moment with Giselle, because most of the moments with Giselle are very crazy. I mean, she's very unfiltered, she's very unedited, she's very loud. You know what I mean? She's very candid. And so the risk in hanging out with Wassi is that you just never know.
I literally was like starstruck, and I asked her, I said, "Hi, I'm so sorry, but can I take a picture with you?" And she was like, "Absolutely," with her fantastic personality. And I'm like, I like this girl. A property manager here in Connecticut. And she was like, "Hey, you should manage me." But I thought she was joking. So she was like, "No, I'm not joking. I'm dead serious." So she was like, "Do you want to be my manager?" I said, "I've never managed an artist before. I've managed multi-million-dollar luxury apartment complexes. But yeah, let me give it a try."
Yeah. I just got picked up in the airport by the king.
You know,
of St. Lucia himself, Teddy Johnson is here.
Oh Lord.
Teddy Johnson.
This come at a perfect time.
This is my brother DJ Steven's event.
It's very simple. It's an easy story. Some years ago, I remember seeing her on a truck, and I was just so mesmerized and amazed. And I got the opportunity to approach her one time, and I went up to her and I said, "I want you to be my big sister." And she said yes. And the rest is history. I swear to God.
Set me free, set me free, set me free. Cause I just want to enjoy my life. Somebody put your hands in the air. Somebody tell me. How many got an answer? I can't take the pressure.
That's my sister, right? Everybody know that. The world know that. The world know I love her. One of the greatest human beings on the planet Earth. Huge heart. she's a nerd, you know, on the low though, you know what I mean? She's kind of smart. Just a little bit. She's like stupid sometimes, right? But like she say, a living legend, you know.
Actually, I think I met Giselle long before we met. I actually know Giselle back in the early days of Mix 91 when she was the DJ. It was her and Lady Terra, and living in Florida, or even when I even get to travel to Florida, it was just amazing to hear these two young ladies articulate and the way they play and the energy they brought to the radio station. And it was, you know, it always had me just baffled that, wow, it's amazing that this is a man's world. You know, back then we was all into sound clash. And here it is, two young females. Only thing I knew about them is how they sound at the time. And for some reason, Giselle, you know, just stood out more. And I don't know if that was because of the soca in me at the time, because I was transitioning into the soca world. So for some reason, she stood out more. And I remember getting a contact and invite her down to the Bahamas to do an event. And from that first event to this day, which is over 20 years ago to this day, we have maintained friendship, loyalty, brother and sisterhood, to the point where we almost have to talk every day now.
Oh my God. Blacks is like everywhere.
Yeah, you gotta love him though.
I love to impede. I love to interrupt. And especially when the queen is around, I will interrupt.
And that, you know what? That was awesome what you guys did tonight on stage. And again, we need more of that. We need to show them that everybody is loved.
Nobody see that could only happen. Okay, love is like electricity, right?
If a holy Wassi.
Love is like electricity. You need conductors for it to happen.
Amen.
You understand? So if the people that you're spreading love to are plastic, they won't conduct the electricity
and we have
of
a
love.
lot of plastic people
exactly.
in this business.
And so
he's a wire. So which means when he comes on stage,
these are all. Let me tell you something.
Exactly.
All three of you, let me just tell you, I have you here collectively. All three of you are people that I love and respect so much in this business. Let me tell you something. I do the same thing that you do, but you're like my favorite in the world. Your personality, your interaction with the people, just everything. You're like so real. You're such a good tourist. I'm a tourist too.
Let me tell you this before I go, but I leave it now. When I heard, I didn't hear this song yet. When I heard Bungie and Marshall did a song, it was like Jesus come to me, because we need that. We need to put aside all our differences, and I feel that opened the eyes of a lot of people in Trinidad who have.
Well, I had said to him earlier on when I was talking to him is that soca is a family, and like a real family, there may be blood that we all share, but sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we won't agree, sometimes we're going to get along, sometimes we won't get along. Sometimes you have to love your sisters and your brothers from afar because you can't.
Thank you.
My relationship with Wassi inspires me because she is so inspirational. She wears her emotions on her sleeve. She will give if she has, and if she doesn't have, she will find a way to still give.
Giselle, I love you. God bless.
Congratulations to my best daughter on this milestone. I love you, kiddo.
Manu Joe Marshall Montano. Here we go. Hey.
Boy, don't touch me like you're going crazy. Let go me.
Giselle, I guess this will be best captured by me describing Giselle. So Giselle is a fun-loving, beautiful, beautiful spirit, both inside and out. She's a go-getter, a very hard worker. She's trustworthy and honest and open. And what you see with Giselle is what you get. One thing I admire about her is that she gives her all to those she loves. She loves extremely hard and deeply. And if you are fortunate enough to be a part of her circle, you know that you have someone who will support you in good times and in bad.
Let me tell y'all a little story about Giselle. Before we even had a carnival in the Bahamas, we even had Giselle was alive. And I had the opportunity to really meet her and to know her on a personal level. Since meeting Giselle, I've been exposed to carnivals all around the world. We don't care, we put our hands in the air tonight.
I met Wassi at a tender age in my career. Wassi have always been that person to believe in me and always give me words of encouragement even when I'm feeling down and doubtful. She have always been a woman of strength. When I think about Wassi, one characteristic that stands out for me is the fact that she's so giving of herself. What inspires me is Wassi's ability to overcome pain and literally turn pain into strength. I've seen her going through so many things in this life, but one thing that never kept her down is any obstacle. She always turned that obstacle into success. She turned that obstacle into passion, into drive, and that really inspires me as a woman.
Giselle, I literally want to be you. You are, I mean, you're not supposed to idol, I know, but I love you and I love what you're doing. And I promise you, I look at myself every day. When I get up and think about carnival addiction, I ask myself, what is Giselle?
If Giselle is for you, she's for you.
I tell my boss, fuck you, I gotta go. He's like, your boss is Isan. I say, Isan, I'm a man. He's like, I'm Pepto.
Hear the greatest in the world. Dr. Isan is she boss.
Hi, honey. How are you?
This is my little cousin. He wasn't a crush, but he was like, see, he was up on the here, like here, right here. So what nobody doing? I don't want to know about nobody doing. Don't tell me nothing about nobody. I swear, this is how I live.
So Giselle, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm a genuine person. I don't talk just to talk. I really want to thank you for the short time that I've known you. I know in my heart it's a long relationship. If there's anything I can ever do for you, I'll do whatever I can for you. I know together with us, you mean so much to me, and I really, really appreciate your friendship. Thank you.
I met Wassi about 15 to 20 years ago. I was the only female promoter for Boston for soca music. We worked on numerous projects. She showed me the ropes. She also contributed greatly towards my journey. You asked me to use one characteristic to describe Wassi, which is impossible to use one characteristic to describe Wassi. But if I had to use one characteristic to describe Wassi, I would say Wassi is love.
I didn't even have a driver's license yet, but I got caught driving without a license, and I had a ticket that I needed to pay. And she had her mass camp, which was a warehouse at the time, and I offered to clean her mass camp to make the money so I could pay my ticket. Like I said, with the radio station, I can't remember in full detail as to how we ended up on the radio together, but it happened that way, that we ended up on the radio station together. We had sex shows. We even worked together 9 to 5 at one point. Like we held down a 9 to 5 working, and from work was we had our radio shows to deal with. Friday night after work, we do our radio show, and we do the club, and from there just elevated. Miami was, like I said, our stomping ground, the Madhouse, and that was a college-based party, and a lot of the college kids was from various islands. So that's what gave us that, upfront to be able to get to the different islands, because the college kids who came here to go to school, they was like, yeah, well, we want this back home.
genuine to everybody, loyal to everybody. She works well with everybody. But when it comes to our team, our chemistry, you can't beat that. Africa, you know me, I'm not good with words. I'm not, you put me on the spot right now. And, these questions that you're asking me, I'm just going to break it down to you like this. At the end of the day, Giselle, Natasha, Beverly, Blanche, I call her whole government name. Some of you probably don't even know that. But that's how deep we go. And at the end of the day, she's more than words to me. She's my partner. She's my best friend. She's somebody that, if I was to express her or explain her to anybody in one word, it would be like, Wassi is love. To know Wassi is to love her. And if you don't love her, then you don't know her. Because the type of person that she is, that's what she gives. And like I said, the bond that we have, we've had our ups, we've had our downs, but at the end of the day, there's no one that can break us. And I tip my hats off to her, because what she's doing, what she's done, what she continues to do is above and beyond. And to this music, this genre that we call soca, everybody needs to tip their hat and bow to the Madam Ambassador, because that's truly what she is. She's genuine, I could go on and on, but she's a boss. Just remember that.
There are so many people that play a role in the story of Giselle the Wassi One, a dominant force of energy that illuminates even the darkest day, the friend that runs by your side when you're in need, or talks about you in rooms of opportunity. Wassi is a complicated human whose candid, dry-eye commentary is just the push we need for the culture, diaspora, and humanity itself. Thank you, Giselle, for allowing me to document and tell your story. This is not where it ends, but where it begins. Your story is far from finished.
And mama say, oh, you could have it all. Just work hard for yours. I say, mama, you know I'll work hard for sure. Now Jaja bless me with the opportunity to fly country to country. Now I could drink champagne when I thirst. Now I could see only thing I never see. They say this hour you'd man so long. But I thank me for the run the family.
How does Giselle stand up and continue? I know God is in charge, but what about when you are faced with you and you say, yes, God, I'm going to do this, but there's so many other hurdles and obstacles in your way. What do you do?
Testimony. Mm-hmm. Testimony is so funny, yeah? Because you'll find that when I do get into that zone, because I'm human, when I do get into that zone, like, you know what? This isn't making sense. It's too much for too little. Mm-hmm. It's too much for people who don't care. It's too much pain from people that I love. Let me come out to this and maybe we'll all be able to live in peace and harmony. And when I go through all of that, and I say all of that, and I feel all of that, it's either I have to snap myself back into focus, because a lot of times we look for love and appreciation in all the wrong places. And you'll say, and I wouldn't necessarily go for the word validation, but appreciation, you understand, is something so important. It's important to keep people's morale up. It's important for people to know that for them to continue to do for you. But when somebody, is insatiable and you say, here, Nicola, here's 2 coffee cups, so you couldn't give me 4? That doesn't make me want to even give you 1. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? So based upon that, based upon, trying to remain focused, and then having people like you call me up, you wouldn't believe, you were testimony. This is a dread time of the year for me. Anybody who does this or knows me and knows what I go through at this time, it's a dread time of the year for me. It's a time where, everything feels overwhelming. You keep questioning yourself, why are you doing this, boy? Why I putting myself through this, Jesus? And then
somebody like you calls and say, hey, G, I'm doing a story on the strength of a woman. And that's, oh, I don't want to cry, but those little things, that's testimony. That's God telling me, hey, I send Nicola to let you know you're good. You're not doing the wrong thing. You're in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? Even with the makeup artist this morning, like her conversation with me, it was just, you know, and these are the little things. And again, when you know who you are and you're spiritually aware and awake, I think that's the key to it, you know. I think another thing is that people don't realize that the strongest thing, I don't care how much gym you're going, the strongest thing that God has ever given you is your mind. You can think yourself into wellness. You can think yourself into greatness. You can think yourself into being and any and everything that you want to be, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, and again, some of us who have power and understand power, we use for good, and some of us use for bad. So it's just being able to differentiate and being able for people to recognize who you are. And more than that, more than who you are, okay, maybe it may not be the greatest. What you want to be remembered by. What is your legacy? What is your legacy?
We're in the joint, blah, blah, blah. How was that?
So you'll only be able to have like back up, and that's how you just get focused. If it's too blurry, you back up a little bit, or go forward a little bit.
I'm here, I'm sleepy. Bye, Elijah.
Yeah.
For you believing in me, I wanted to do this documentary.
So you feel like you need to give me truth serum?
Yeah. But as we take this, we leave in the pavement. That just says it's gone though, it's gone. It's like alcohol. What the fuck? I love you, ass. And I tell you one flicking thing, leave me alone, shit. You're just kidding. Are any bars open here? No. I'm not biased, I buy weed.
I mean, you're biased in the sense that the song appealed to her emotions.
I'm not
so she's biased with her emotions.
But first and foremost, I'm a human, so if it appeals to my emotions, it will also appeal to everybody. Okay, fuck that, play the song. It's not a big tune, all yeah. Alright. Case closed, I should be a fucking lawyer.
And she didn't even get the chorus.
Won't think about
She tell him pull up when he start to sing her.
You don't need to go further than that. I just needed them to hear full verse and they would understand. Every person, okay, she's here right now for the same fucking reason. That she here right here is this song right now.
Well, let's just
like today.
When you leave it?
I'm the person. You can't tell me that's how I know you're a fuck that. Because I'm the queen of fuck that.
So every little thing that you have, be grateful for. And we don't chase material thing. No. I'm so fast, I'm far now.
Check it out, a job attack straight from out of New York City. It's all about LOL 30. What me I talk about? Oh, Giselle the Wassi One. Our 30th anniversary on the road. Life of a living legend. I locked down the whole place and them can't take it.